Hello and welcome to yet another PARCC Test tutorial video brought to you by Valley View School District. The purpose of this video is to give teachers and certified staff a general overview of how PARCC will look from a technology specialist perspective. Because the PARCC assessment is computer-based, there are unique elements to the test that will be beneficial for teachers and staff to understand so they can better assist with the administration of the PARCC test. For example, PARCC test administrators will have access to the Pearson Access Next dashboard, which will allow them to monitor student statuses, potential problems, and general progress in the tests. This video is intended to give a basic overview of the software that will be used to monitor students' progress on the day in which PARCC tests are completed. Student statuses and test sessions will be managed through Pearson's Pearson Access Next software, which can be accessed through the website pearsonaccessnext.com. A quick note: when training with the Pearson Access Next software, you must be sure that you are using the Pearson Access Next training site. You will know you are using the Pearson Access Next training site if the theme of the website is brown. On the actual day of PARCC assessments, the Pearson Access Next website will have a blue theme. The blue theme will alert test administrators that all actions taken on these tests are final, and the results will be then submitted to PARCC for analysis. To get started with the Pearson Access Next software, you first need to sign in. Once you click the green Sign In button, you will be brought to a sign-in prompt. There you must enter your username and password in order to continue with the software. Upon signing in, you will be brought to a dashboard, which from this view has three categories: Setup, Testing, and Reports. Setup and reports may not be visible for teachers or test administrators on the day of the assessment. Most of the work that we will be doing for the PARCC assessments will be done in the testing area. So, from the testing area, we're going to go to Students and Sessions. Now we are at the Students in Sessions Overview view. This is the view that the test administrators will see on the day of the test. When the students are brought to the computer labs, this is what the technology specialist is going to have on the screen before them. From this area, they're going to be able to authorize the students to start the tests. They will be able to check the status of the students as they're taking the tests. They'll be able to see who's active in the test, who's already completed it, and who is exiting it early. What you can see right off the bat is that I have one test session here on the left side. I have Romeoville High School English Grade 10 to my name. Down below, if we were to scroll down, we would see all the students who are enrolled in this particular test session. I have 10, and their names, new student, are all listed right down here, as is their student ID numbers here on the left side. They're all enrolled in the same session, and as we can see from the student test status bars, they are all ready, which means they're ready for me to start their test for them. If the students were in the lab ready to go, I could hit this green start button, they can enter their codes, and they would be able to start the test at this point. You would be able to see which students are working and which would need help by the status symbols here at the top. What's nice about the PARCC assessment and its layout, its interface, is that it has these different color-coded symbols to tell you what the status of the student is. When they're gray, they're ready to go and begin their tests. All of my students are currently ready to go. When they are currently working on the tests, they will be green. That means they're reading and answering questions, and they're doing what they're supposed to be doing on the tests. If a computer crashes or a student exits the test prematurely, they will have a red status. That will give the teachers and the test administrators a heads up that they need to go check on those students and see what is the problem. From there, the teachers will be able to resume their tests, which is again like a ready status, but resumed means they had already started, it's ready to start again. So they will have yellow, so that means that the student is then being waited on to begin the test again. And then, of course, when students complete the tests, they will have blue statuses. That means that they can no longer submit answers and they are completely done with the test at this point, or at least this section of the test at this point. Basically, the teacher's primary role will be working with the test administrators to look at the statuses of the students. If there are any red statuses, test administrators and teachers should then be talking to these students to see why is the test exited, is there a computer problem, and then troubleshooting from there. Most of your students will have green active statuses. Some will stay gray ready forever. For example, if a student is absent for the day, they will never be an active test taker since they're not there to authorize the sessions themselves. Therefore, they will be gray the entire time. To illustrate what the student statuses will look like on the day of the test, I have included this screenshot. This is an overview of the student testing dashboard that your technology specialists will be seeing on the day of the test. At a glance, I can look to the top bar to see the testing status of my class. According to the bar, I have 2 gray students, 2 green students, and 1 red student. As a teacher, I know my 2 gray students are nearly ready to begin the test, my 2 green students are currently working on the test, and my 1 red student needs my immediate attention. Looking below, I can see which specific students need help by the test status indicators by their names. I can see students 2 and 5 are working, students 1 and 3 are ready, and student 4 has exited their test. My role as a teacher is to assist the technology specialist by investigating why student 4 has exited the test. The test may have been exited by mistake, computer failure, or network connectivity issues. After investigating, the technology specialist would be able to resume the student's test, changing student 4's status from red to yellow, and when the student continues the test on their end, their status would move from yellow to green. The last elements I would like to demonstrate today are the student tickets and seal codes. First, student testing tickets will need to be distributed to students after they arrive to the computer lab on the day of the test. The sheet being projected on the screen is made up of multiple testing tickets. This sheet would be able to be cut into slips to then be given to students. These slips list important information the students need to complete the test. These slips include the students' names and dates of birth. In addition, the slips have specific login usernames and passwords for each student. These login credentials will give students access to their own PARCC account that will record their individual answers. Finally, these student testing tickets will include a URL or web address that will take users to the PARCC testing site. On the day of the assessment, the computers would ideally display the website and login prompts before the students arrive. However, in the instance of computer crashes, network connectivity issues, and the like, it is helpful to know that the testing website address is printed on each student ticket. From a teacher perspective, it's good to know about these student testing tickets because the technology specialists will need the teacher's help to distribute these tickets to the students on the day of the test. In addition to testing tickets, teachers should know about seal codes. When you think back on traditional pencil and paper state achievement tests, we all fondly remember using our pencils to tear paper seals that secured each testing section. The intended purpose of these seals was to prevent students from jumping ahead in the test. This measure ensured that the time given to each student was standardized. Seal codes work in a similar way. Students will need to enter these codes in order to virtually tear the seal to the next section of their tests. As such, it is important to know each test session has seal codes associated with it. It is also important to know that these seal codes should only be given to students when they need authorization to begin a test. Writing all of the seal codes on the board at one time, for example, would be giving the students access to all sessions of the tests before they may necessarily need that access. As such, it is helpful for teachers to know the function of these seal codes so they can better assist the technology specialists in maintaining a secure testing environment. One last important note. In the event testing tickets or seal codes are lost or destroyed and need to be reprinted, technology specialists will be able to reprint these documents from the Students in Sessions overview. This concludes this Pearson Access Next overview. Should you have any additional questions about the dashboard, please contact a peer or your school test coordinator. Thank you.